It was supposed to be a simple Saturday morning. Just shopping. Nothing special. But before the day ended, one unexpected meeting inside a supermarket would completely change two lives forever. Today's story is called He Went Shopping for Clothes, but Found Love Instead. Listen carefully, because sometimes love appears in the most ordinary places. His name was Daniel. He was 27 years old, calm, friendly, and a little lonely. That Saturday morning, Rio de Janeiro was full of life. Cars moved through the busy streets. Music played softly in small cafes. The warm sun reflected on the city buildings. Daniel walked peacefully through the streets, without knowing that this ordinary morning was about to become unforgettable.
After walking for some time, Daniel entered a huge supermarket. It was one of those places where you could buy almost everything: food, electronics, perfume, even clothes. At the entrance, a smiling employee welcomed him warmly. "Good morning, sir." Daniel smiled back politely. "Good morning. I'm looking for the clothing section." The employee pointed toward the upper floor. "Right over there." Daniel thanked him and walked inside. Bright lights, soft music, people shopping peacefully. Everything felt normal. Until suddenly, he saw her. She stood near the clothing aisle, looking carefully at different shirts. Long dark hair, soft brown eyes, natural beauty. Simple, but breathtaking. Her name was Sophia. For 1 second, Daniel completely forgot what he came to buy. Their eyes met briefly, and both smiled softly. That small moment felt strangely warm. Daniel looked at dozens of clothes: blue shirts, black jackets, white sweaters. Too many choices. He laughed nervously to himself. Then suddenly, a gentle voice spoke beside him. "I think the blue one looks better." Daniel turned. It was her. Sophia smiled shyly. "The black one makes you look too serious." Daniel laughed softly. "And the blue one?" She looked at him for a second longer. "It makes you look happier." From that moment, everything became easier. They walked together through the supermarket, looking at clothes, making jokes, giving opinions, laughing naturally. And little by little, two strangers started feeling comfortable together, as if they had known each other much longer. Daniel noticed something strange. Whenever Sophia smiled, his heart became lighter. They stopped near the shoe section, then near perfumes, then near watches. Sometimes they talked, sometimes they simply smiled at each other quietly. But somehow, the silence never felt awkward. It felt peaceful, warm, real. And without realizing it, hours passed. After paying for their shopping bags, they walked outside together. The afternoon sun was softer now. A small cafe stood near the supermarket entrance. Daniel looked at Sophia nervously, then finally asked, "Would you like to drink coffee with me?" For one tiny second, he feared she would say no.
But Sophia smiled immediately. I'd love to. Inside the cafe, soft music played quietly. Coffee aroma filled the air. And there, between smiles, warm eye contact, and endless conversation, something beautiful slowly started growing between them. They talked about life, dreams, childhood memories, funny stories. And for the first time in a very long time, Daniel forgot about everything else. Because in that moment, nothing mattered more than her smile. Evening slowly arrived. Outside, the city lights of Rio began shining beautifully. Daniel walked Sophia toward the taxi station nearby. Neither of them wanted the moment to end. A taxi arrived slowly. Sophia opened the door. Then, Daniel finally gathered courage. "Can I have your number?" Sophia hesitated for one small second. Not because she didn't want to, but because her heart was already beating too fast. Then, softly, she smiled and gave him her number. Before entering the taxi, Sophia looked at him carefully. "I'm really happy I met you today." Daniel smiled warmly. "Me too." The taxi slowly drove away. But Daniel stayed there smiling like an idiot under the Rio evening lights. Because deep inside, he already knew something. This was not the end of their story. It was only the beginning. Sometimes, love does not arrive dramatically. Sometimes, it quietly appears between supermarket aisles, small smiles, and one unexpected conversation.